Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My brain just got off the treadmill. How did my brain go on treadmill? I don't know yet, dude. Anyway, we're back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I've also got food in front of me right now too, so I'm accomplishing two things at once. I'm eating because I'm hungry, and I'm streaming. Yay! Yay! So if I still remember what happened last time, Kazuma was kicking our ass. That's about as much as I remember. Is he still better than Von Karma? No? Not yet. But, man, his whole logic and reasoning spiel, definitely something to be very, very afraid of. Because it's terrifying how he literally pulls out the objection last time and just goes on a massive spiel, essentially explaining away everything. Today's probably going to be a little bit of an off day, though, because I am slightly pissed off from work. For those of you watching, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this as a VOD, I got a question to throw at you. Throw this in live chat, throw it in the comments if you want. Do you hate helicopter management? And by helicopter management, I mean a management who's always up on your shit. If you're not productive, they hound you for it. If you do something even remotely wrong, they hound you for it. I personally detest even helicopter management. It's not fun. If you're gonna helicopter management us, at least do your fucking job first. Your part of the job, not my part of the job. Don't fucking look at my part of the job. My job is done. Today we had a little team meeting. We met with the, I don't know what this guy's title is. It's DP, but I don't remember what the title actually means. He decides that he needs to talk to all of us about 3 things. One being the cell phone policy. He doesn't want us having our personal cell phones on the desk to distract us in any way, shape, or form. He gave us 2 options. Either we come in on the day of, into the office, and put our phones, our personal phones, mind you, into a box that's gonna sit at the receptionist desk. First off, no, nobody voted for that. Second off, who the fuck told you you were allowed to do that? The second option was we keep it in our pockets. Okay. Why do you care? Literally all of our work is getting done. So why do you care? The second one that he told us about was something that I think is just personally asinine. I don't care if you're a business or not. He says that we are not allowed to take our breaks or our lunch at our desks. All of us, with the exception of one person because he steps out to his car, take our break and lunch at our desks. He argued that a cashier would not take a break or take their lunch at the cash register. Obviously the fuck they wouldn't! A reasonable person, to throw this in court for a minute, a reasonable person will never fucking take their lunch at a cash register. The amount of unsanitariness just coming from that spot is awful. Also, why would any cashier put themselves in line of fire like that just to take a break, just to take a lunch? Literally every single cashier you ever talk to, if you ask them or you tell them you gotta go take a break, they go to the break room, dude. Lunch? Go to the break room. So that argument really doesn't hold water in an office setting where we are surrounded and live on our computers. I don't get it. I don't get why they care about that kind of shit. Why do they got a helicopter pop of that one? So they told us you're not allowed to sit at your desk anymore. I fucking hate that. I think it's stupid. And that to me right there was like, alright, that's enough. I've heard enough. That's the final straw for me. You tell us we can't take a break at our fucking desk? When anyone could just come up to us and be like, hey, are you on break? Like, yeah, I'm on break. But I can still help, because I don't care about a break. I take the break because you require me to clock out for a break. If on lunch, yeah, sure, I can't really help during lunch because I'm not on the clock. But a break, I'm still technically clocked in. But the break is just whatever. I don't know, man. They care too much about that garbage. So now I'm like, alright, once this stream is over, I'm going to start looking for a new job because I cannot stand the helicopter pop that they're trying to put out here. And this is coming from a super high rank in the freaking office. I hate it. I just detest it. I hate it so much. Hi, Bomb. How you doing? I was ranting about helicopter papas in terms of management. Do you hate helicopter papas when it comes to management? Because I do. I hate them. If you're gonna helicopter around me, can you not? Because nothing I do is gonna make it look good. I don't even know what that means. It means that they are hovering around you constantly, looking around for anything that you're doing wrong. Even if it's such a minuscule thing. If you're not busy, they hound you about it. If you finished your work, get more work. Like, what? No, I'm not getting more work when I've already finished my entire workload. It's not my fault that I can finish my workload faster. Listen to the VOD at the beginning, Bomb. It'll make more sense. Anyway, let us forget about the whole work situation. I'm gonna find a new job at this rate, but fucking hell, man, I really hate that kind of shit. Oh, I never had that happen at my job. I have had it happen at just about every job I've been at. Even to a fucking retail job, where I'm not paid enough at a retail job to give a shit about what you think about what I'm doing. I do my work, you get the fuck off my case. Simple as that. Alright, let's do this. We are still in trial number, episode 4. We just saved ourselves from getting absolutely demolished by Kazuma. But Kazuma is very strong as a fucking prosecutor. Who would have thought? Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Oh, there you are, Odo. What kept you, my dear fellow? Oh man, I miss these guys. Oh, but now I'm sad because now we don't have Gregson anymore. Hello, Mr. Sholmes, Gina. You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Oh yeah, that's what happened. We tried to prove that it wasn't, in no way, shape, or form, that the body was dead on, like, the time it was dead. He uses defense attorney strats as a prosecutor. Yeah, he does, and it's terrifying. Can you... Does this mean every single defense attorney would make a bomb fucking prosecutor and vice versa? Because we've seen it with Edgeworth. We had that one case where he became a defense attorney for a day, because Phoenix was in the hospital. And we also now have Kazuma, who was a defense attorney in Japan, now is a prosecutor for Europe. That's a little different, though. That's very different. Like, that's substantially different. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you. Sholmes, it's not a competition. Wait. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. Bruh, how did I predict that next line? But I was more shocked than all of you put together. Fucking Ryu. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. That would mean that Dr. Sif is back in town. But then why would she... Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Sif. Why do I keep thinking everything up early? I know. Anyways, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zeeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. So perhaps something happened with him. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. Hyosa was immediately noticed. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? Wait, we saw someone getting arrested? And Mr. Shom's sweet... Oh! Holy crap! I forgot about those two. I don't even remember how they look like. That's right, Susan. It was me what took him in. I do remember that part, though. Thanks to a tip-off by a good, law-abiding citizen. What are you doing? What are you doing, Zoe? Moving around on my camera. Indeed. Yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Sholmes. Yeah, don't tar him. Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zeeks for some reason. He never did go over that, did he? The Reaper, the Red-Haired League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zeeks, and Kazuma. Well... I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? Shit, this could be another Damon Gant situation than fucking Kazuma over here setting up Damon Gant. No, technically Damon Gant set himself up. Lord Strongheart really isn't setting himself up for anything. Aside from being, like, really vindictive. All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Sorry, I'm eating. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Oh, don't say that. Please don't say that. I would love to see the end of a trial. Are you ready then, Miss Susato? Yes! Huzzah! Alright, let's see what we got here. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Beric Van Zeeks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asogi. My lord, have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the two members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the two men into the courtroom. Oh god. Why am I getting Papyrus and Sans vibes immediately? But it's the opposite of them. These two men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names for the court. I am Fabio de Rousseau. Rousseau? A descendant of the great de Rousseau family from Nice, in France. And my name is Pepino de Rossi. Oh my god. I am the third son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. You're based on Napoleon? The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduate from Themis are the future leaders of Europe. But, do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Lords, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little gray cells on my brain. Wow. so I was using that gray matter. That is all I am trying to do. Ooh. So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? You could say that. Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideals, but the petty plans. This strange combination is a charm of the hilarious brothers. See, couple? He's disappointed, I feel. Listen to me, Peppino. I have two things to say to you. Sure. Are you about to tell me one of your grandy anecdotes? Viva. Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this couple. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Chipville, there it is. The couple's trump a card. The furrowed brow. It is deep, capo. The furrow and the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Haired League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui. I swear to God, I'm just butchering the link. Sorry, Way. I don't know how to pronounce her name either. Help me with your French. God damn it. She's never gonna come to this stream. That would be... I think I would suffer first-hand, second, and third-hand embarrassment if she actually came to the stream. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Allures, I will explain it. No, Capo! Leave it to me! To me! As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased with this without pity. The Capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like a Trevi fountain. Whee! Oh my god, the stupid E. Those dogs, one day the world will respect us redheads. I feel like I need to be a redhead today for this. You know what? Let's switch. I am now gonna be Luis, which means goodbye, cow. Wait, I still have items on me. I need to move these items. Are they unlocked? Yes, they are. Gonna put a bee-boo on my shoulder and gonna put a little thing right there. And there you go. We now have the trifecta. The Look, it just works, okay? It just works. It makes sense to be a redhead today just because it's like, we got redheads all day today. I'm happy with this. Every night, he would bury his head in his pillow. I want to read what that said. And weep for the injustice. Has been, Peppino, enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Haired League. Hey, I'm losing frames over there. Hey, can we not lose frames? Never mind, we are losing frames. Alright, well, I'm gonna eat then. If I'm gonna lose frames, I'm gonna eat. I got, chicken and rice. Oui, okay, how do you actually pronounce that? Pronunciation for me, please.
Bonjour, this is Julian the Frenchman.
I can't hear this. I need to turn off my AC. And by AC, I mean turn off my fan. Okay, let me hear that again.
And who makes frame? Bonjour, this is Julian the Frenchman who makes French pronunciation videos here
Hi, Dandy.
on YouTube. Let's see how to pronounce these phrases. How do you say that's how it is or that's what it is? C'est comme ça. You can also say, of course, c'est la vie, but a lot of French people would say c'est comme ça. C'est meaning it is, comme ça meaning like.
C'est ça? That's how you pronounce that? Okay, that's fair enough. Hey, D&D, are you doing okay over there in New York? I heard something was happening in New York from co-workers today at work. Figured I should ask. You said you were in New York, right? So I figured I should ask. Are you doing alright over there in New York? I don't know. Something apparently was happening in New York that... I don't know. I didn't look into it or listen too deeply into it. Apparently something's happened in New York that's making people weird. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what happened. That's why I'm asking you. I'm wondering what happened over in New York that caused people to, like, gossip. Oui, c'est ça. No? Okay, fair enough then. I am honored that you have seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair. I live in a state next to NY and I've heard nothing. Now then, if you haven't heard anything, then it must be just a red herring then. Probably nothing. Nada. And that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-haired hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. Yeah, this trip has actually been pretty damn good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Is there something on the West Coast that knows something that we don't? Dude, I don't know, man. It must have been something on the news, or maybe Twitter had something about it. I don't know. The only thing I've seen on Twitter so far is, Stellar Blade talking about, whatever this hard R situation is. I don't know what the hell this hard R situation is about, but it literally has nothing to do with the racist term. I'm like, what is going on? Why is the hard R trending? Excuse me? Like, you gotta... I can't even explain the first reaction I had when I saw that. I'm like, am I what? I am looking forward to seeing what Stellar Blade is about, though, but I have to buy it first. I don't know. What is Stellar Blade even about? It looks good, but I haven't seen a damn thing. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. Damn, no wonder they got their money. And with the money to France. It was a plan most elegant, non? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. Well, Shums, you just got called out. It's Sekiro-esque gameplay? Shit, I've never played Sekiro. Didn't mean to send that shit. I was gonna delete it. Well, too late. It's in chat forever. I see it right up there. Maybe I should buy that. But where the fuck would I fit that in the schedule? I literally don't have the ability to fit stuff in the schedule right now. Unless I decide to turn Monday into a day, but I don't think that's a good idea. The park was described by one witness as choked with redhead folk like a Coster's orange barrow. I'm not racist. Wait, what did you even type? I don't see anything that you did. Oops. I did not mean to skip a text there. And on the day which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face-to-face with every single person present that day. I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life. You saw it? I didn't see it then. I must have completely missed it. You're getting banned S. Poor D&D. He didn't do anything wrong. Just misunderstood. CC, and now every time I see the Capo's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. How can a redhead hate another redhead like that? Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. Oh, wow, it was intentional? By the way, they already patched out the hard R thing. What was this hard R thing even about? Because I saw just a little blurb about it on Twitter. I'm like, what is this? And then I didn't look any more deeper. Was it something like... I'm like, it can't even be as worse as what GTA does. They've only been shown this photograph of a dead redhead. Very good. So, Mr. DeRousseau and Mr. DeRosy, you will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Well, way to be fucking inconspicuous. Of course, we are always ready to help Vizela. Amazing when that's coming from a con man. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 redheaded people assemble in the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Hi, Capo? None, I don't remember him. Obviously he is dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. Alora, this victim has nothing to do with us. He sounds like Mario now that I'm thinking about it. It's just graffiti that said hard next to a neon sign with the letter R. Basically, R is just a rest. It's all... Wow. The level of misunderstanding, though. The devs accidentally made a racist, but all they were doing is just pointing out. All they were doing was world building. The graffiti said hard, but the rest stops are R. Damn. Oh man, imagine seeing your game trending on Twitter, but the hashtag is the hard R. Like, we may be a Japanese company, but we do not condone racism in any way, shape, or form. We will be patching this out immediately because we were not aware of our mistake. Man. That's funny. That's hella funny. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. How do you like my French? My French attempt at an accent. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oui, I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like this came to the park. This I can promise. It must be noted that you have been arrested for grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. Oofa, with this attitude. We get nowhere, huh? He's really a sulking. He's really a sulking now. Read your messages. Too tired to reply. I'm an app right here. What messages? He didn't leave me any messages. What messages? I've literally been looking at all my... Oh my god, I keep realizing that I'm gonna... Luis only stream? Yeah, today is Redhead Day. Because this entire court case has a bunch of redheads. But I basically became a thing where they said they needed to hire an inclusivity company to add sensitivity, diversity, and basically change the story and writing to make it more friendly. Oh, the DEI thing? Oh god, I hate this DEI thing that's happening lately. It's such a dumb... Like, it's so dumb. Look at what happened to Pokemon Go. That's literally all DEI right there. How do you ruin such a good, like, how do you ruin such a, like, decently well, I don't know. I never played Pokemon Go, but the character creator has to be pretty good to be able to make a character how you want it, right? And then they ruin it. Somehow. Ugh, big discussion, small fennec brain. Poor Nemi. Do you need a little bit of a pet, Nemi? Can I call you Mommy, Nemi? You know, I was gonna send you a voice message, but there's a thing that happened at work. You have to look at the VOD at the beginning, though, to find out what happened, because I don't feel like going through the story again, otherwise I'll just get more mad. No, I already told you, so you don't even need to know. Yeah, I told you already. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. Go through it, please. I don't want to go through it again. It annoys the hell out of me because I was complaining about helicopter pop-up management. And I hate helicopter pop-up management. They always try to hound you about you not doing your work if you're just sitting there. It's like, dude, I finished my work. He sent me a paragraph that I'm too tired to respond to. Nah, we're gonna keep going with Ace Attorney. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover. Ah, I have the answer! Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, oh my god. That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, which means it's quite possible that that's when he was killed. Shit. Very well, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Ah, yes, my lord. Once the stream is over, you can look at the VOD at the very beginning. It'll be in the first, like, 10-15 minutes. Because I was complaining about it. Can't sleep again. How are y'all? Hi, Alex! Today is Redhead Day, so we're just Luis today. 1,000 people? That's a very big crowd. It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital. See, the capo here, he has the magnetismo, what? I can't swear to God, French is so hard to read. Magnetismo animali, what? I don't even know what that means. I can't pronounce how that was supposed to be actually said. Hope you're feeling better since last time. Oh man, I am much better from last time. Having whatever the hell that food poisoning situation was, is just, I don't wish that on anybody. Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo. All those people wanted was the money, Peppino. The 4 pounds per week. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oui, that we did, because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. My god, the amount of What does 5 shillings translate to? If you times 1,000? I mean, that's 5,000 shillings, but that doesn't really tell me anything. Hello, mate. We take of their names, and we take of their money, and we take of their addresses as well. Why their addresses, though? Then I tell them we take us some days to let them know by a post, a finito, maybe 2 minuti a minute a person. Eh. You can say your toilet. I gotta wait for the stupid heart symbol to go away. You can say that your toilet been through some shit, but it's true though. It was going through some shit. Every other hour, on the hour, I could not sleep well because of it. And then there was like 1 or 2 times I had to throw up. You try throwing up when you have nothing in your system but food poisoning related crap. It's not fun. We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night. So, you earned 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Who'd have thought that there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? He's not wrong. One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. I'm gonna update my profile pic. Just make sure it's not safe for work. I mean, not safe for work. What? Make sure it's not... Make sure it's safe. That's easier to say that way.
Hold it!
He doesn't look at all familiar. No, I don't think so. This is a wig, He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people. 5,000 shillings is equal to 327 USD for just talking to 1,000 people? Fuck off, I don't want to even think about that. That's worse than customer service. You don't even talk to that many people in customer service. Yeah, throwing up with nothing in your stomach feels awful. Something is trying to get out of your system, but there's nothing there, so you're just sitting there gagging. Yeah, that's pretty much what was happening, Alex. All from meatloaf. That's the thing. I don't know why the meatloaf was bad. It wasn't expired. I properly cooked it. Just really bad luck, I guess? I don't know. Says the con artist. If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. No, ignore. It may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park. But he's not gonna give the court a definite, it seems. Hey, Capo, you didn't see a man like this, ooh? Huh? It says you're ugly. Now it's my favorite song. Why have I seen that icon before? Sometimes meat just may sit in a street house for an unknown amount of time and just slap a new label on it. That would be really bad for the Hungry Man microwave dinner stuff. Frozen dinner stuff. Because I never had issues with this specific brand. If this is the first time, then I mean I can understand having like a one-off situation where it happens like once a year. Preferably I'd like it to happen no times a year. But I'm not gonna hold it against that company yet. Not yet. If it happens again from a different batch of meatloaf, then we're gonna start like probably looking more into that.
Hold it!
But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning by the ends of the day. Surely then, you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present? Normally, the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. Then it's just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe we would recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact. Ooh. If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think could have forgotten him. He's true. I know a few lawyers. Let's sue a meat company. I'm not gonna sue a meat company until I get until I get food poisoning again. Kazuma said these two had only been shown that photograph and they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim? For example, his fish and chips? Because I'm not telling him the name. I'm sure as hell not telling the profession. Fish and chips, though. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. What if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not really. I was looking only at the heads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips any more than the caviar and smoked salmon. Or spaghetti. Me, I love the spaghetti. Really? I had no idea. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino. Si, capo, si. I say it again and again. Nothing to do with us, bastards. Can I change my PFP to my back, or favorite video game, or favorite song? I swear to God, if you pick your favorite video game and it's Conker's Bad Fur Day, I'm not gonna slap you, but I'm gonna be disappointed.
Hold it!
But we only have your word for that. See, but what else can we do, huh? True. Oofa, we are not having much fun these days. First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of a dead man. And now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here, says the con artist. I, Capo? No, you were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people. Conker is a classic. Of course Conker is a classic, but I feel like no matter what profile picture you choose from Conker's Bad Fur Day, they're all, like, not safe for work. Huh. You had to bring that up, eh? It's not fair. I, Capo?
Hold it!
I mean, pressing on those two... Excuse me, pressing on those two statements ain't gonna do anything. What do you mean by that? Cavolo, you promised not to say, I, Capo? After we had taken all the monies that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunker Q? Oh, Dunkirk. To my companion here. But he brought them for the wrong day. Oops. The flower lady, the Vietnamese flashback. Is that really Vietnamese flashbacks? I feel like that's a good day. See, but it's an easy mistake to make, huh? The 31st. How do you fuck up the 1st and the 31st? I have no sympathy for you. We were an whole day late. We were a whole day late for the boat because of your stupidity. And it's only because of this that this so-called great red-headed detective got us. Capo, you know what I think? This is the work of God. Is a holy punishment, eh? Peppino, for the last time, this is not only punishment. This is only your fault. Ah, don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You are making me sick with anger. Maybe I make a mistake. My God, maybe I make a mistake. But when it is time to eat the pasta, no one is a faster. And I've seen the evidence. Wow, that got me nowhere. You haven't told us much we didn't already know. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, if it was the inspector's diary, it seems likely he must have gone to Lime Street that day. Yet these two both claim they didn't see him. I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies. Well, they are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well. I like it where it is, D&D, personally. Surely if they were truly experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught. Well, yes, you do have a point there. It seems to me like we need more information. Definitely, and the only way I'm going to get more information is literally on this third one here. I have to press them and be like, hey, you want to hear a detail about Gregson? Too indecisive. See, this is why I like getting art, because then I have options about what profile picture I want to use. Maybe his name. I can certainly appreciate that knowing the man with red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man's name was Gregson? The man's photograph is oh, he knows? Is a Muno Sir Gregson? Yes. Names, they are boring. I did not listen to any of them. Oh? It was not a real interview, huh? It was just a for show. Why would I remember the names? He's got a point. That's right. This changes nothing. The man in the photograph was not there. As we have already said. It's legit a girl holding pew-pew up to their head with crazy colors. So? As long as it's not, like, bad. I see. Seems that there's little to be gained for pursuing this point further. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino. I say it again and again. I guess I really don't want to tell them the profession, but fine. I don't have a choice. Oops.
Hold it!
Maybe you should consider not using that image, but hey, I've seen worse. I mean, I wasn't going to tell them the profession, but... What if I told you the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man is a photograph, a detective. Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Sorry, but this changes nothing. Aww?
Excuse me.
Hey! Something to add, Mr. D. Rosie. Rossi. Jesse, I am always adding something. Parmesan, oil, olive oil, pepper. What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Eh? What did you say? About the detective? Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have said enough already. But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard. What? Good lord! Oh, great. He just had to go and say it. Order! 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 Explain this volte-face in your testimony, witness. It's simple. A man who was at the park said to us... There was no such man. Said to us he was an inspector. Madai! What are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, eh? I have forgotten nothing. Nobody likes this came to the park. Basta, Capo, basta! You beat me at the many things, but not two, the memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is a faster. But you are inferior to me in every way, so shut up.
Objection.
Oh my god. What the? Wait, can I do that too? No, I shouldn't do that. I might scare Zoe. Trop tards, the damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. There was a man who came to the park and he said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, his face was completely different. See, it's true, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was clean-shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner. No resemblance whatsoever, then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you are really a detective, show us zip proof. See, the capo here, he doesn't take a no for no nonsense, eh? I don't like American money, it's boring. Why, you don't like our patriotism? The patriotic money? Our George Washington on the $1 bill? Well, actually the most interesting money is the $2 bill. Our $5 bill, our $10 bill, our $20 bill, our $50 bill, our $100 bill. They all have in God we trust or something. Oh, fuck capitalism. Well said. Well said. But I also don't like to carry cash in my wallet, so I literally just carry a, what do you call it, a card. But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly the papers were fake. Certo, Capo, you are a genius. As we were in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh? And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? Fuck paper money. I agree. I don't like paper money. There are... There's one situation, maybe two situations, I consider to have cash money around is a good idea. The one is you need the vending machine money, right? If it doesn't take card. Because there are some vending machines out there that still take fucking cash, don't take card. Or... there's literally no way I can make this sentence sound good. One of my American friends said fuck sounds hot on a British accent, like why? I don't know, man. I don't know. And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, "You are under investigation." Well, I took his papers from him and chased them out of the park. He was fantastical, and look, here's his identification. So you stole it from the man. He had it a-coming. He made us very scared. But he was a nut, too. He said he was. Well, I guess we're gonna take that for, evidence. Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence. But I like them. I like them. The identification of a man claiming to be a detective inspector confiscated by Mr. D. Rousseau and Mr. D. Rosie. Now, let us return to the witness testimony. Hold on just a second, though. Metropolitan Police warrant card? Wait a fucking minute. Why is that? Why is it a... what? Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's... Tobias... What? Wait, what? This Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. But how? And the department and identification number details are all correct as well. Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say... I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. Gregson, what the fuck? But that's unbelievable. This is a real thing after all? What? I was expecting it to say, like, his like, pseudonym. Or pseudonym in, whatever the hell that pseudonym is that he uses over at, Huge Bone, that's what it is. Huge Bone. I thought that would be the name in here, but no, apparently it actually is. What the fuck? Well, okay. About him, nothing to do with him, is there anything else in here? Obviously he's dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. I think I'm gonna have to present on this one, because there is no fucking way. I mean, I could also present on this one.
Hold it!
Wait, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to present.
Objection!
Yep, that's right. Cool. I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade. What? Why Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, Counsel? Is this really a fake, or is it genuine? That's the question, which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection.
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. That is the boss's, no question about it. It can't be. As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question. Why does enrollment only have one R? Is that a typo? Oh, it did go through. Low nice. I don't even know what you're talking about. I see the thing about the accents up there. Was the real Inspector Gregson carrying out an incognito investigation and being literally stupid by telling them that I'm undercover. Such a lord! Oh my god, he just falls down. Order! Order! But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on me about it. If you lose some, it reported it once, he'd say. Could it be, then, that the inspector was physically unable to report it? Physically, what are you saying? Unable to? You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No! No! Order! 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 The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? Cornered. For the moment. I know a nothing. I done a nothing. Pull yourself together, Peppino. Mondu, you can behave a little more like a master than that. Like a master criminal than that, none. Now I wish I had a return to Italia. I mean, well, I don't know how to pronounce that E. Stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise, I... Why is everyone crying? Lumi, stop your whining and start talking. I forgot Gina was up there. Well, I believe... Wow, I believe the court would need to hear your story in considerably greater detail. I know nothing. I done nothing. But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. You will dry your eyes and testify again about these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out loud. Oh my god, they're gonna be crying in the fucking... No! They're gonna be crying through the entire fucking testimony. Why? The detective and the identification. The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night in a secret hideout. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. We took the man's identification from him and shut him up in the next room to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and the next morning we let him go. We spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like a prison, really. Oh my god, why did they have to fucking cry during this, bro? This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man. Yeah, we forgot, I kind of glossed over that, but no, see, no, it was like not a prison. He was a very comfortable and a calm and a happy. Aye, Capo? Well, I don't know about happy. It was never part of my plan, I swear it. Oofa, so you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong by a little day. I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it. No. Por favor, Capo. It is not fair. It's not fair. You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. I don't believe this. How could Evie have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in his parents' hideout. Great. But what happened? Did they really kill him? Or was it a complete accident? Because so far a lot of these cases have been accidents.
Hold it!
Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me, I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do. See, nothing else. This was a first crime for the capo. He was at the end of his wits. I have told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? Did that not go through? Whatever messages you're sending are not going through. Oh, it didn't go through. No, that's not it. Did that not go through? Nope, I'm not seeing anything. An old, empty house behind the park on Lime Street. We rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by the capo here. An impulsive idea, I would say. No, not impulsive, inspired. Aye, capo? What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino? But you're not getting censored. At least not by me. And it was in the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it? Ugh. But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? None, you are right, but we couldn't be completely certain. I can't believe Gregson let himself be beat down by 2 redheads. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared. Too scared? Why? Because I can't do the... I don't know if I can do the French accent anymore. Why had he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen through my plan. And if that was the case, we'd go straight to the police station to blow on the whistle on us. Even if he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good, huh? Without a doubter? I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. Well, see, you may be right. Aye, Capo? The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. I said it was censored. Well, I don't see anything. I literally see nothing. Why? Internet, why? My internet's dead. It's dying. It's dying. 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 I'm dying. Whatever you're trying to send, D&D, it's not gonna let you send it because then it's YouTube who's censoring you. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. I still don't know why he did that. See, I asked myself the same question. We were writing down the names and addresses of all of the people who took 5 shillings from that day. I've forgotten what name he said, but the address, it startled me. See, address Scotland Yard Homicide Division, he said. Oh my god, he literally said that. Oh no, my internet died. Let's wait then. And by wait, I mean I can literally chomp on more rice. Hey, look, it's back. What? He probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he had said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. What was Inspector Gregson playing at? Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say? See, we did a...
Hold it!
That being this identification book here, correct? See, that is the one! What made you believe that it was a forgery? I had never seen a real one, of course, but he was so suspicious, this man. Oh, Laura, I was a-thinking it must be falso, I couple. It is just as Peppino has said, we were convinced it was not genuine. And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive. Somehow. All we did was shove him inside a locked room. Then we made preparations to transport all of his money. You know what's interesting is that Gregson didn't shoot. Shit, YouTube is good with censors. Yeah, whatever you're trying to send, I probably don't even want to see it either, so don't send it. In for a penny, in for a pound. Explain this tussle that you had. What do you mean by a little tussle exactly? Boff, it was nothing, just a minor incident. The falso inspector, he was a piece of a work. Aye, Capo? What happened? Oofa, it was a disaster. We give him a nice room, and what does he do? Huh? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator. What? The ventilator? Can you blame him? We chased him, bien said. What? And we caught him again. Oh my god, internet. It's not even that bad. But whatever it is, it's bad enough that YouTube has censored it in every capacity. Can you blame us? Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? Who do you think we are? Of course not. I simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room. What is happening here? Mr. D. Rosie, is something wrong? Rossi? Me? Something Mr. D. Rousseau just said seemed to make you, well, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was that all about? Cavallo, at times like that, you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. And I speak from a personal experience there. Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There is no need to say more. The truth is, the night before we put the Red-Headed League plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like the turbine, huh? And he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have bruises to prove it. Aye, capo. Bruises, you say? Aye, you want to see, huh? You want to see my fantastical bruises? Wait, Wait, you were choked? There's no way for me to find out if he was choked. Wait a minute. No. I'm not sure about that one, Chief. I'm not sure about that one. It's so little inconspicuous. I could just be coloring. It could just be shadows. It could also just be an undershirt or something, but I can't tell. That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. wanted to do. I assure you, or I don't. I assure you, or I don't. You do, now! Damn. Laura, if everybody wants to see it, then I do it. Echo, you see? I'm still very invisible, eh? That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house? See, the capo, sometime he a very rough, and I says that's enough. Man, this guy's got some anger issues. Pepino's neck is nothing to do what we were talking about here. You F my word. Yes. What is your opinion, Council? About this red ring around Mr. DeRose's neck, I wonder, does it matter? I want to argue yes, but only based on the pictures I have. Okay, no, it has to be he was choked out, because look on this picture, right? Gregson doesn't have this discoloration happening on his neck. But then you look at this other picture and you look at his neck and you can kind of see that it is discolored. Yes, that could be shadows playing around with like a trick of the light. But also, does the autopsy report say anything? Victim was shot in the chest at close range. Scorch marks, bullet wound, caliber. That's all it says. What am I supposed to do with that? Nah, maybe pushing my luck then. What do you think? Did anything go through? Mr. DeRusso, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with the details about that mark on your neck. Aye, Capo, you see? Everyone is interested in what I had to say, huh? Very well, you will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. DeRusso. So you see if you really want to know. Shit, here's what I see, D&D. You know that shit that I just came through? I had to approve that. Whatever you're trying to send doesn't even make it. Fucking had to make it as a thingy. He tried to escape, but the capo put on the collar on him and dragged him back. I want to hear more about this. Are you saying that red mark was caused by... See, a big collar made from a leather. A leather collar? Is this true, Mr. DeRusso? What? We had a Saint Bernard at home when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time, which is a very strong chain. A strong chain? And you put that around your friend's neck? I'm sorry, I was so angry that he was leaving me alone. Oh God, dude, this guy's a disaster. You did not have to tie the chain to the leg of the bed, though, huh? I would not have tried to run again. You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treated the people equal. Treated the people. I want to say this right. Treated the people equal. Oh my God, that's so hard to say. Treated the people equal. Is the capo's here motto, eh? Well, in summary, I said I ought to go and fuck a couple things, including you. Paper money, capitalism, democracy. My dude, D&D, take it easy. Starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The capo is a tough, but the capo is a rough. I shouldn't have done it. So, the following morning when we released the inspector, he had the red ring around his neck, just like me. Peppino, Silvo's polite. Leave it now. Now you know, huh? The capo here, you don't want to tangle with him, eh? But for the inspector, it's not so bad. Oh my God. Okay. This is gonna be a push. I might be wrong about this one completely, but I'm gonna go with it.
Objection.
I was right. Okay, so I did spot it right. So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner or working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was homely. Bullshit, homely. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is this, counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. The victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there are no red ring visible around his neck. But that makes no sense. It was me who took the collar off the man in the morning. And I saw the red bruises on his neck, just like I have. Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we'd expect to see bruising on the victim who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. de Ruzzi. Indeed. Oh, so wait, it wasn't there. Okay. That is most peculiar. But what do we tell you, huh? Huh? We said this from the beginning. Many times. Ooh. Peppino is right. The man in the photograph he is someone different to the man we held captives that night. Wait, what happened then? Wait a minute, I'm fucking confused. Wait a minute. Order! It would appear then that on the day before the incident, a man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. But how? If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? How do you explain that? Alright, I had to go, so fuck you at the same time. Have a bloody good night. Alright, D&D, bye. Have a good night. Even though that's a weird way to say bye. This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for that day, which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely. He's not wrong. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising could be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? Do I? The opposite of salutations. You know what? Fair point. The whole thing defies explanation. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Is it? I'm tired of holding your... I'm not going to review your messages anymore, D&D. Stop cursing. It's too much. I've already looked at every single piece of evidence here, though. What the hell does this point to whom? Shit, I have no idea. I feel like maybe there might be one, but it's a stretch. Okay, I'm going anyway. Good night, D&D for real, though. Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruto. So, why don't you help us all see whatever truth it is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. D. Ruzal and Mr. D. Rosie? Freestanding notebook completely covered in notes and articles related to victims of the Reaper, bloody handprint on the back. Crime scene photo, autopsy report, Gregson's photograph, framed photograph. It had to have been an imposter. And it had to have been... That's such a stretch, though! It's such a stretch! How can it be Dally Vigil? Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, if the person who these two redheaded men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time. On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See, that's right. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar. Mon Dieu, Peppino, I was not your arch, as you'd say, eh? Who was that a falso inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man who these two imprisoned that night. I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park posing as Inspector Gregson? Obviously, it's not it's not Sholmes, but this is a stretch, dude. This is a super fucking stretch. I don't think it's the right answer, but it's the only answer that makes any bloody sense because they immediately recognized, if I'm remembering what Sholmes said, they immediately recognized Sholmes. The only one who would be able to, like, throw a wrench into this is this dude. Because they would explain the photo that's in that that office. That little dinky room.
Take that!
It's surely no secret. This is the identity of... Is it wrong? Oh, really? On what grounds? Oh, I said it was no secret, but the part is. Dear me, if ever a penalty was in order, it's now, I feel. Bruh. Like the punishment, the capo can lend you a collar if you want, huh? Perhaps my learned friend needs to experience what it feels like to be dragged around the streets by the neck. I'll use my imagination, thanks. Oh, Mr. Naruto, the red ring produced by the collar is clearly the crux of the matter here. Yes, the bruising around the neck. So, do we have another choice? Because it's not fucking Sholmes. Oh. How did I not notice that? How did I never notice that?
Take that!
Goodness me, isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passerbys. What on earth would a street seller be doing with a police inspector's identification papers? That's a good question. Gee, I wonder. Witnesses, is this the man or not? What has happened to his lip? See, this man is not for the Red-Headed League guy. He's looking for the Twisted Lip League, no? Oh my god. Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, which I don't remember at all, I noted something around the man's neck, a red ring of bruising. Eh? What? The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Gee, I would have not noticed the red ring if it wasn't for the fact that the portrait had it. Look at the portrait real quick. See how there's a red ring around his portrait on the neck? I didn't notice that until I browsed over that. I'm like thinking to myself, why was I thinking it was Dally? Because we haven't heard from Dally. The Gossip? Order! Order! Bailiff! Bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately! Well, fix the lips and you would get someone else. Who would I get? Pshh! Wow, I never. Hi, Stones, by the way. How you doing today? An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. And identical to that of the witness beside him. Now, what's going on here, eh? Everyone's had this, me. It's a birthmark, isn't it? A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you. Aye, something about an inspector again. And I'm telling you, you've got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it. Well, of course I am. You trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh? Well, at least you'll have more stories to pedal back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. D. Roselle and Mr. D. Rosie, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice? We are in a big of trouble, eh, Capo? Well, trying to watch... oh, man, my internet died again. I didn't even notice until... Okay, hold on. It comes and goes. It comes and goes. It comes, but it also comes. Man, why does it do this? Why does it always do this? It was going... I mean, okay, the internet's not been the best today, but man, it's been better. It's been better. It's been so much better. I can't even load Fire Emblem Heroes right now. Yeah, just give it a minute. It'll start working soon. Unless it doesn't, in which case that's unfortunate, but it looks like it's starting to come back, so I'll give it a minute. It looks like it's not back. Never mind. That's why we waited. You good, internet? You look good now. We've lost 2% of our frames so far, which is still really awful. That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony. Yeah, I didn't notice it was buffering earlier, but there's not a lot I could do with its buffering. Comcast does what it wants. The inspector and identification revisited. The man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not this man. He's right, see? You think we would have forget those grand lips, huh? I never leave Fresno Street, alright? I've no interest in any red-headed league. I'm all alone in the world. Me, I've no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Does it look like I could carry off a disguise with a face like this? Depends on what happened to your lips, first off. It would certainly appear that we have the wrong man. What have I been telling you, There was no need for this pointless testimony. Ugh. That's right, I'm just a simple peddler, remember. Fresno Street's all I know. I How would I come by the police inspector's identification book, eh? Pretty easily. Oh, yes, that's hard to explain, but... a brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Ugh. Isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? No. I stand steadfastly at your side as always, Mr. Naruhodo. Does that count, technically? He does certainly have a different hairstyle. Certainly a hairstyle, though. You know what? Now that I look at this man, he does look a little bit more like him, doesn't he? More and more I'm thinking that's him. Which is weird, because it's like, those two don't look anything alike. But the more you look at it, the more you're like... the more it's kind of hard to deny it. It'd be kind of strange. Kind of strange. Long lost brothers or something? Damn. Damn, that was 5 bits of testimony? I thought that was like 3. So you say, but how could you be quite so certain? There is no need to hurt your hands on the desk, Monazor. Monmazai. I can't, for the love of fuck God, French. Surely the reason is obvious, non? Because I have never seen lips like this. Nevertheless, there's a clear red mark around Mr. Gossip's neck. And it looks very much like the one, like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by your prize caller. Mon Dieu, with your words, it is like you're trying to wring my neck. It does look very much like my neck, though, eh? No, this is a birthmark, lad. The biggest lips in London and a neck to die for. Aye, they broke the mold when they made me. For the first time in my life, I feel lucky to have been born with red hair. Oh man, I would really like to know if that's actually Dally. What the heck am I? I'm getting a call? Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. That was a phone call that I had to take. It's one of those things. Gonna head off to get some stuff to do tomorrow morning. All right, good night, Stone. Sleep well, sir. Okay. Hi, Zoe. It's hot. And I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London. So you maintain that you've never seen this man before? Oui. C'est ça. I swear it by the flames of my hair. So fierce pride has outgrown the frustration with your hair now, has it? He's so happy to be redhead.
Hold it!
Well, yes, I don't imagine I'll forget those lips in a hurry either. That is what I am saying. For some reason, it makes me want to eat... How did Fabian call it? An eclair. What the hell is an eclair? You know, I've never seen the hair as black as yours before either. Likewise, I've never seen red hair like yours until I came to Britain. What are you doing, Zoe? What the hell are you doing? What are you dropping on my floor? You're literally dropping stuff that I use. I swear to God, my cat is like one of those menace cats that's like, she has to bother me in some way. Or annoy me in some form. Like with my chapstick. Come on, Zoe. See, maybe it's a national trait, eh? Huh? Maybe all the people from this man's country have the grand lips. No, lad, I was born right here on Fresno Street and I've never left. Oofa, that is a problem, see? So you definitely didn't go to the park on Lime Street that day, Mr. Gossip? Now, how many times do you want me to say it, eh? I never leave Fresno Street, alright? It's true, though. It's kind of strange. So, you'd heard of the Red-Headed League, had you? You don't get a name like Gossip for nothing, eh? It's my business to know what's going off in town. I sold that tasty tidbit a fair few redheads that came past me. Just between us, I even got Sandwich to cough up for it. Well, he does have a very red nose, if that counts. Who knows? But as you can see, my own hair's not got a hint of red in it. And in any case, Fresno Street's my patch. You won't catch me sidling off to some other part of town. No, sir. Not likely. Oh?
Excuse me.
What's going on over there? Mr. D. Rousseau. Ugh. Oui? Can I help you? Did Mr. Gossip's word just now lead you to remember something irrelevant, perhaps? It was the other day, when I was looking for a place near the park, a small house or something. To be the headquarters of your Red-Headed League, yes. I visited an housing agent on Lime Street, and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? But Mr. Gossip with a housing agent? Wait, he had some kind of contract in his hand, and they were clearly discussing terms. But no, you're mistaken, chum. I've never left Fresno Street, me, like I said before. You're mistaking me for someone else. Someone with the same face. No, the capo is right. I remember it too. He was paying a man with the bank notes. With notes? Like I said, that wasn't me. I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked at the name on the papers. And what name was written? Mr. Gossip? No, this man, he lies. He tells you that he has no name. But in fact, his name is Huge Bone, huh? Is better than Mr. Gossip, I think, see? Oh my god, so this is fucking Huge Bone? Oh, that throws me off. No! Damn. I'm a peddler of tidbits of information, like I said, on Fresno Street, and that's that. I don't much like talking about my personal life. Indeed. And it is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned name shall be redacted from all court records of this trial, assuming no objections.
Objection.
I have an objection, actually. I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance in this case. Good gracious, do you similarly object, Prosecutor Asogi? As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings. Well, I never. In what capacity? Huge Bone. The name of the leaseholder of the room. Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room. Wow, this is looking very sus for gossip, ain't it? I suggest, sir, that you start talking. Well, alright. I suppose that might be the case. So your real name is Huge Bone? Oh, just between us. I don't like to blow me own trumpet, but there's no finer peddler of titbits in town. So I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a falling down backstreet townhouse. You do? And once every 6 months I go and pay the rent to the agent on Lime Street. I remember now. There were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time. If either of us is a vulgar, that is not to me. Sink again, Peppino. Why didn't you bring this up before? It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a titbit peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss. You will update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Bone. Is it Boone or Bone? If I must. So the leaseholder Scotland Yard had been looking for since the body was discovered has been here under our noses all along. And Scotland Yard ain't even in the courthouse to talk about it. I read the room where that fellow was found as true. For what difference does it make? It doesn't really make a difference aside from it being your room, so... So, you live in that room presumably. You live in that room presumably, don't you? Do you? No, I don't live there. What do you think? There's no bed in there. There's no bed, is there? Just a desk. Then why would you want to rent it? Well, I don't think I should have to say, really. Then how about the notice board in there? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents. Only the police should have had access to it. Ah, no, that board's not mine. The inspector must have brought it along. It's only the other bits and bobs that belong to me, the desk and the chair and that. People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. It's his notice board. There's no reason it wouldn't be his. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there, in your room? Oh, obviously, I have not the faintest idea. I mean, it's causing me no end of bother, to be honest. It seems to me that Mr. Mr. Bone, would rather as little as known about his room as possible for some reason. Yes, it does come across that way, and more importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely changes things. In particular, there's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me now. That's how I'm finally going to undo this man. Yeah, no, that's a lie.
Objection.
That one's a straight up lie. I don't even have to press that one. If you have no kinfolk, as you put it, then explain why is it that among the sparse furnishings we found this photograph in the room? Ah. I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Oh, well... Mr. Bone, drop the pretense and tell the court exactly who you really are. I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave it alone. As the man says, leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case. because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson.
Objection.
How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. I mean, yeah. The lips are kind of a dead giveaway. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features.
Objection.
But what if we were to look at this the other way around? What do you mean? Now you're losing me there. Yes, Counsel, what do you mean? Yeah, Ryu, what the fuck are you talking about? Why, there's no denying that Mr. Bones' lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip is itself part of an elaborate disguise. Oh. Then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Huge Bone? We're cornering him. Good witness, are you still hiding the truth from this court? If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be... Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. No, please, no. Too bad, man. You're here, so... Very well then, Counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who simply goes by the name of Gossip on the Street?
Take that!
Dally Vigil. Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Dally Vigil. I don't recall that name, Counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? It's a name that I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact. This is Mrs. Vigil. What? From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. But of course, on that night, you were being held captive by two red-headed League men. And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we'd been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence. Now, just you hold on a minute. I don't have what? Now, just you hold on a minute. I don't have the first idea what I'm talking about. Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise. No, please. Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a washbowl at once. Mr. D. Ruzal and Mr. D. Rossi, you will restrain the witness. What? You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to do that. Oui, my lord. Si, my lord. Oh my God, they really are. No, stop. Get off, please! Don't! Oh, boy. Oh, my God, it really is him. And the lip is literally... Wow. Well, there you go. But what does this do for us? Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume. Lift your head, sir, so the court can see your face. It would appear that the defense counsel's assertion was entirely correct. This has all been a very elaborate deception. So, witnesses, tell the court, have you seen this man before? I don't believe it, but... See, there is a no question. This is the inspector we saw in the park. Extraordinary, but how did he get the... Did this man kill? On the day of the Red-Headed League enrollment, the man claiming to be Inspector Gregson, who appeared before Mr. D. Roussel and Mr. D. Rossi in the park, was you, disguised as the inspector. Or rather, was you posing as the inspector in no disguise at all. Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as the chief warder at Barclay Prison. Chief warder? And your career had promised why you would quite possibly have become the future governor of the prison. What on earth have you been doing peddling tittle-tattle on Fresno Street? Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years? I did my research. I'm really dreadfully sorry about all of this. Yes, it's true. I am Daily Vigil. Daily Vigil? And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago. So, where did Mr. Huge Bone come from? Bone is the other me. It's a name I invented. Well, evidently there is a great deal under the surface here. I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. As you say, it was 10 years ago now that my employment as Barclay's chief warder came to an end. Having left the prison service, I searched for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. But times were hard in London, and I found no suitable engagements at all. In desperation one day, I turned my hand at selling wares on Fresno Street. But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warder at Barclay Prison. 10-year lie, dude. I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I've never told her. But why, though? I opened an account at the bank under the name of Huge Bone, and I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street. The scene of the very crime we're investigating. Yes, that's right. A place from which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler, and transfer myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. That quickly became my daily routine. Damn. For 10 years? I was puzzled by the lack of furniture in the room. But that explains it. But why on earth didn't you just tell us, why didn't you just... I can't read. But why on earth didn't you just tell us this in the first place? I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons, and without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. See, this is what I hate about, like, old school, the man has to bring everything into the household, right? There's a special line that I remember from a YouTube short. It's talking about man's problems, right? This line was about how this man has a father of 2 daughters and a loving husband to his wife, right? And he was telling this woman who writes about women's mental problems, right? And how he asked her, why don't you write about men's problems? The writer responded, oh, because... I forgot what the response was, but I remember the response that he gave her. My 2 daughters and my wife would rather see me die on my horse than ever see me fall off of it and fail. And this is how I feel like this man sees himself. He doesn't ever want his wife. Hi, Zoe. You okay? Please. He doesn't ever want his wife and his children to find out that he fell off the horse. He'd rather keep up the illusion that he died on the horse. So instead, you decided to conceal your occupation from them? Yes. I've made such a terrible mess of everything. Still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to passing gentlemen, even at 6p apiece, you couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder at the prison. Very true. To have kept your family in comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment. That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? What? Inspector Gregson, what on earth? It was some years after I had invented Boone and begun my other life as a street seller. The inspector, that is, recognized me one day. Do you mean to say the victim was an acquaintance of yours? I knew him from my time working at the prison. When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. And from that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regularity. What the fuck? And one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. A secret? What was it? I was to impersonate the inspector. What? Impersonate him? Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me here. We always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me. Visit Orxie's tomorrow and take a statement from the proprietress. Jesus, okay. It was always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would lend me his identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, to let people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. And for those services, he compensated me financially. Man, that's kind of a pretty fucking good deal, really. A Scotland Yard inspector willingly relinquished his identification into your care with intent to deceive? That, as I'm sure I need not point out, is a very serious criminal offense. But why? What was the point of you impersonating him? I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions. Now remember, Vigil, I need your solemn word. You don't blab about this to anyone, alright? Ever. Even if, well, if I end up a croaker. Fuck me, dude, are you kidding? In time, he started to bring papers with him to the room as well. It became something of a second office for him. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be the Inspector Gregson at the park on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my Boone disguise, and then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification book. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might give me away. Okay, well, that doesn't answer the question of who killed Gregson, though. That just answers the question of what the fuck is happening in that room. Ah, man, okay. Where do we go from here? Well, this is a problem. I know where we go from here. Kazuma's gonna blame, Barrack. Ah, man! Well, it would seem this confession completely destroys the defense's case. Yep, it really does. Murdered it, so to be exact. Explain yourself, Prosecutor Asogi. My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed at another location the day before his corpse was discovered, at the hands of these two Red-Headed League men when they imprisoned the inspector. But no, that can't be. Why did you do it again? After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day, it was me. Oh goodness. Finally, we have clarity. He had nothing to do with the murder of the inspector. And merci, Monaza de la Defense for proving it. What? Yeah, I proved it. Yeah, where the fuck do we go from here? Fuck! Order! 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 Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim. As proven, somewhat ironically by the defense. Ugh. I hereby call an end to the cross-examination. I don't think we could do about that, really.
Hold it!
Hmm? Kazuma? Why? Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness. Kazuma? What question, counsel? It concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at a very significant execution that was carried out at the time. 10 years ago? The execution of the professor, Genshin Asogi. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Oh! Answer me, man. One moment, counsel. Is this related to the current case? Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago inextricably linked. Well, that's a push. Does the defense concur, counsel? Kazuma, you're not yourself. You're not as calm and collected as usual. Poor Kazuma-sama, no wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago would tell the tale of Genshin Asogi's last moments. His own father. I know, I do understand that, but even so. Prosecutor Asogi, do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death? I need you to trust me. Please. Oh, alright. Very well. Then the defense has no objection. I see. In that case, you will answer the question, witness. Oh my god, okay. The truth is, I remember very little of that time. You've forgotten? I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some peculiar reason, my memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Well, 10 years is a long time, but to have forgotten the reason why he left such an important job. Yes, you're right. And not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know. The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily, which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry? The human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. But it never truly leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface, and when they do, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed. But I really don't. Kazuma-sama. But if it must be crushed, then so be it, because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out. What did he say? What did he say? It's coming out one way or another. I accidentally pressed the button. Whoopsie. Right, now I understand. It's clear what his intentions are. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps if I pointed out the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. But should I? Should I present the evidence or not? I'm gonna do it. I have no idea how this is going to go, but this is a court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. The truth! Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of the events.
Take that!
Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Ah, well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of Chief Warder of your own volition. He did not. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No? No, I don't. This is a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment. A dismissal notice? And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? What? It's mine? So you didn't resign from the prison service at all. You're fired. For some reason, you were dismissed as chief warder from Barclay. No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure. Why does he keep hurting himself? I'm sure I tenured my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Isn't it? Man, he really tried to block out those memories. If you were forcibly dismissed, there must have been a good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was on 17th June, 10 years ago. And on that day, something very serious took place at Barclay Prison. The 17th of June? Was that the professor's execution? Professor. As you were the chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. And yet, that execution never took place. The convict, ostensibly executed earlier that day, later re-emerged from his grave, only to be shot again. The convict came back to life. In the cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness. However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, a gunshot rang out from over his shoulder, and the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Those may have been the professor's actual last moments. Yes. Yes! Seeing as you were in charge of overseeing the executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warder Dally Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on the 7th of June 10 years ago, and now it's time for you to drag them up. Mr. Vigil? Yes, the whole prison was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. Shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. What? What? He escaped? The prisoner got the fuck out? How? Order! 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 Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of the time have returned? My head, it's gotta be throbbing with pain. It's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. Oh my goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who'd seen a ghost. Yes, an oak drebber. But surely those reports were exaggerated. There were traces at the scene. Traces of what? In Lowgate Cemetery at plot number 139, blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible had happened there. The depths of conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering. I reviewed the police records from that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigation team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved. Are you suggesting that a prison warder abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes, and I was suspected of doing it. Of using that mass murderer's execution as a way to help him escape. You did what? I remember now. The horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. I'm sorry, Dally. This is a serious business, but I cannot help you, no. Cannot help you now. As chief warder, you're responsible for overseeing the execution of 4, eh? Well, it seems the fellas at Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You'd better pack your things, laddie. Either attend in person. Damn. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And the next thing I knew, The professor. The most hated killer in our country's history. And I let him escape. I'm finished. My life is over. I'm not doing a scream. Oh shit, he just passed the fuck out, dude. Well, that's that then, I think, right? Order! Order, bailiff! Fetch a doctor at once! Court is adjourned for today with immediate effect.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day. Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
Damn. Damn, this is still case 4. We're not even done yet. Damn. Okay. Okay. You know what? I think this is a good time to stop it, right? Investigation part 2? Oh man, I knew we were gonna have more investigations, but I didn't think we were gonna go into that part of it. What the hell would we even be investigating in that case? I don't even have a clue. I don't have a fucking clue what we would investigate. Do I want to stop? You know, I think I should stop because I don't like how my internet's been acting up this day today. So yes, we will stop. Of course the professor is always gonna be a part of this fucking case, right? Oh, hi, I'm back as a cow now. Also need to reset the items. There we go. Why is it always the professor? Why is it always Kazuma involved in all this, dude? I don't get it. It's never ending for the poor guy. Every time, every single fucking time, we literally have to worry about Kazuma's own sanity about trying to figure out what the fuck the professor situation is about. This is about as close as we get about the full information about the professor, though. I'm sure the next trial phase is going to be about uh the professor case from 10 years ago, which means whatever the heck they were investigating is going to have to be revolving around that, but also trying to figure out who the fuck actually killed Gregson, because who the fuck killed Gregson? We still don't have an answer for that. It's not that guy, because there's no reason, none whatsoever, that he would kill Gregson. Obviously, it's not Barrick. That'd be ridiculous. It's not the redheads. That literally throws them out the fucking window. It's not the two bums. Bums? Sorry, it's not Miss Venus, and it's not Mr. Sandwich. I don't know, man. I'm out of ideas on that one. Maybe we might find something in the investigation part, but I'm gonna leave that till next time. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining me as being redhead for the day. And yeah, tomorrow we have more Stardew Valley. So look forward to that. And yeah, I don't have anything else to add except for come join the Discord server. There's a link in the description. Otherwise, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, have a good night. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.